Let's do it. Let's see what we got here. So one of my favorites is, we pick on K-12 database. So let's start off with somebody else that's unaffiliated. Number 17, Dr. Button Pusher. This is Fight for Justice, Fight for Equality at Fight for Women. So this person's just fighting all over the place. And this is what they have to
Lots
say.
of fights.
Their Ukraine
Lots of
flag.
fights.
These folks always have their Ukraine flag, which I think is funny because Ukraine, guess what they did? They armed their population with actual military weapons. But anyway, so
They did.
yeah, I'm a paralegal. Well, bless you. And am disgusted by conservatives' corrupt criminal actions and behaviors. At time 2A enacted, a paralegal, and they speak like this. Maybe English isn't the first language. At time 2A enacted, guns were single-shot pellet rifles.
Yes,
I didn't know that. They're historians here. Yes. I learn something every day. And they did not anticipate or foresee semi-automatic guns. They would not have agreed to civilians having access to military-grade weapons. Well, sweetheart, this is how this works. So I can guarantee you the weapons that they protected in the Constitution at the time were absolutely military-grade weapons. Matter of fact, anything that goes boom, anything that's pointed, anything that you can beat somebody with is a military weapon. Clubs, knives, swords, guns, explosives, rocks. It's all been used as military weapons. So what are you skidding at here? And yes, they did. And you're saying that our founding fathers could not have foreseen guns that load themselves. Yep, they were idiots. They wore powdered wigs after all. What could they know?
Mm-hmm. They wouldn't know anything.
They never thought. They let you have cannon. They let you have muskets. They even had repeating guns back then. But somehow today they just wouldn't have envisioned us being able to own guns that load themselves. It's such a big difference. Right. And those poor powdered wig fools.
Tim, after all, they had never seen any type of increased technology innovation. Like, I don't know, that guy. What was that guy's name? What was that guy? Oh yeah, Gutenberg with the printing press. They've never seen anything like that before. Who would have thought, Tim? Who would have thought that you would go from writing something with a bunch of monks by candlelight to printing something down to make expansion of literacy across the globe? Oh my! If only they had foreseen, we wouldn't have this pesky First Amendment. Oh,
I know. If they just would have known. What do you think they would have done if they could have seen social media that we enjoy today? I use the word
cry in their sleep because it's so stupid.
Yeah, right. It's like, well, they would have had it written to the First Amendment. They would have squelched our rights to speech because, well, gosh, they could have not envisioned the web and X and it just. Oh my gosh.
Bad.
The stupidity of these people and the arguments just don't hold water. All right. So now we got to go over. I'm going to pick one from my good friend over at Davey, another Davey.
Your favorite
We're going to
one.
hang out. We're going to hang out one of these days and get drinks. And, he's going to tell me all about his gun database. But anyway, so K-12, let's go with number 14, Dr. Button Pusher. K-12. Okay.
A fine choice.
As gun stores roll out Black Friday specials, the next school shooter or mass shooter is probably using credit cards that he will never pay off because he plans to die, which will go to another narrative of theirs recently, to finance the attack. And then he links to something about how banks are unwillingly financing mass shootings, because buying a gun with a credit card, these banks are financing criminal activity. It's not like guns are protected in the Constitution and Bill of Rights or anything. It's like, yeah. But look what he did there. Go ahead.
No. You're on it. You're going exactly. I feel like you're going exactly where I was about to go. Go for it.
Yeah, but so he's working this angle of suicides, right? They're not going to pay back the credit cards because it's suicides. Now, Braden, what is the one thing that they really struggle with in their database of knowledge that they can't seem to explain away? Because every time they throw out these numbers about the violence in America, the gun violence in America, and they throw out these big numbers, what's over half of those numbers related to?
I believe Katie calls those self-deletions.
Yes, self-deletions. They unalive themselves. And so this is a real problem for the anti-gunners. So Davey's such a forward-thinking gentleman. He decided to get in front of this by just linking everything to suicides. He calls them violent suicides. Really? So that's what he's linking to here. As evidence of this, Dr. Button Pusher, number 15. Oh, Davey, here we go. Going to Walmart to pick up a this is another good one. 79-cent pound turkey. I think he means per pound. You might get randomly shot by a suicidal man. There we go again, right? It's just life in America. So he's talking about 79 cents a pound turkey. That's a shot at the economy and Bidenomics and trying to convince people that turkey prices are down, and then, which is funny. So his politics creeped into his little post there. And then you go back to a suicidal man, not woman, because we've never had a mass shooter that was a woman. Okay, so suicidal
Well,
man. So there's
touchy,
that
touchy.
suicide again. It's like there's a point
Right.
here they're trying to get at to try to undo
Yeah,
something,
it's
one of our
weird.
talking points. Weird.
It's weird, Tim. It's a very astute point. In fact, I'll even bring more in here. That's kind of tickling my little brain folds in here. Yes, you're correct on the suicide angle because they can never address why over half of their gun violence statistics are suicides because openly it would cut their talking point in half, 50%.
Right.
On top of the
Yep.
fact that it's already down by 20% across the board this year. They aren't telling you that. We've done
Right.
exposés on that.
No.
So it's
Mm-hmm.
already down 20% across the board. So that's
Yep.
uncomfortable for gun controllers because that would prove that
And
they're full of it.
just so people, yeah, and just so people know, it's down 20% while gun sales have skyrocketed. It's up
Skyrocketed.
well over
And no
20%.
gun control. And there's been
And
no gun
no gun
control
control.
whatsoever. So you
More
had
guns,
zero
less
gun
crime.
control, you've had more guns, and you've had 20% reduction in gun violence, as they would say it, by their own numbers. This is not
Yep.
our numbers. This is their numbers. 20% reduction year over year. In fact, we've gone back down, Tim, and you know this, I'm getting all animated. We're going back down to 2015 to 2019 levels. The pandemic was a bump, and now we're going back to the average, mean, and norm. Now, here's my little opportunity to say, I don't want any of this. This is terrible stuff.
Right.
Make it stop, please. However, when you have a 20% reduction and you're going back down to the resistance levels of 2015 to 2019, we've had over
Yeah.
30 million guns sold in that time.
You know what they
Weird.
call this? You know what they call this? Lying through admission. They're lying through omission because they're leaving key points out while they push their narrative. They're going to tell you we need more gun control because these violent suicides. But in reality, it's all going down while gun sales are skyrocketing, well over 20% increase in gun sales. And so
huge.
Yeah, I mean, it's unreal. And so they're losing the information war, but they're clinging desperately, which is why we point out this whole suicide thing. And so for the last one, number 16, Dr. Button Pusher, our good friend K12, and this goes to that same point that they're driving home. An Ohio man shot. I do. He's such a nice guy. Anyway, so yeah, Ohio man shoots 4 customers before killing himself at a Walmart store at 8:30 p.m. last night. Mass shootings are public suicides. Oop, there we go again. Which is why armed guards. There he's tying into that thing we talked about the other day. Why armed guards and fortification do not deter these shooters. Limiting access to firearms is the only way to prevent them. So once again, he's doubling down on stupid, saying, you know what, we don't need security at airports. Our Congress critters and politicians don't need security. Sporting events don't need security. Schools, in his mind, don't need security because security just doesn't work. This multi-billion-dollar business every year around the world just really doesn't work, folks. Security's useless. Get rid of it. Just ban the guns and we'll all be fine. There will be no violence in the world if we just ban the guns and get rid of security. Yeah.
So easy. And you know what?
Oh,
you know
my
what,
gosh.
Tim? I just had another thought about the banks thing. With your permission, I'd like to revisit that.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
All right. So you notice, I mean, when we hit that very well on the suicide thing, the homicide thing, the reduction in stats thing, the tying it to suicide thing. You know, the one thing that really strikes me here is how the banks are unwittingly supporting this. It reminds me of something that they did, the left did about 12 months ago. Remind me, or tell me if you remember this, when they were putting pressures on the credit card companies to track individual guns and ammo purchases from the Senate side of the Democratic Party, sending letters through the main organization that issues all the classification codes. And then it promptly got shut down and smoked because we kind of sent a little bit of an uproar about it. You remember all that?
Yeah. Yeah. They got hit in the pocketbook.
Weird
how
that
like
makes
it when you do that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird how when we smoked their ideas because we were in front of it and we got a lot of people involved and they basically got shut down and the companies backed off. That's what he's referencing. So,
but this goes all the way back to Obama.
It's all tied together, man. Everything's tied together. That's why I bring that up.
Yeah, but the whole bank thing goes all the way back to Obama. Obama was convincing credit card companies not to do business with gun stores and things like that. If you had anything to do with the firearms industry, accessories, anything, you could lose your ability to process credit card payments because Obama encouraged banks, incentivized banks to ditch you as a customer because they can't get things done legislatively. They pull dirty tricks like that. They try to put you out of business. They don't care how many people don't have jobs or how many people go out of business. They don't even care about that. Not their problem. All they want to do is deny you your rights. But anyway, all right, folks, enough of that. On a positive note, tomorrow's Thanksgiving, and I hope that you all are able to spend time with friends and family, have a great meal, maybe get out to the range, do a little shooting. Thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you guys soon.